Hey, this is Mr. H. Hey, I want to do a really quick video on how to find the inverse of a function. And then I'm going to use the calculator to kind of confirm that it's actually the inverse. So what you see here is this was taken from the January 2024 Algebra 2 Regents. Question number 19. They're given the function f of x equals x cubed minus 3. And then they're saying this is the inverse function, but we have to find out what b is. So they're saying the cube root of x minus 3 times b, and we have to figure out what b is. So I just created a video that shows you how to use the calculator and the slider to find the answer. So I'm going to put a link in here if you want to watch that, but I'm going to do it algebraically. So what I like to do is I use the inverse function. So first thing, I use PEMDAS. I'm looking at this function. The very first thing that's been done to x, because we need to get x by itself, because we're going to find the inverse. So I'm saying the first thing that's being done to x is that we're cubing it. And then the second thing that we do is we subtract 3. Okay. Once we know that, then to find the inverse is pretty simple. We're just going to do the inverse and we're going to reverse the order. So we're doing multiverses. So we're inversing it and we're reversing it. So the reverse or the inverse of minus 3 is going to be plus 3. The inverse of taking the cube root or the cube or something is to take the cube root of something, right? So I know my final answer is going to start with x. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3, done, and then I'm going to take the cube root, done. Now, so this is the actually cube root or the inverse of this function. Now, the way that I can prove that is if I go grab my calculator, which I'm going to do, and if I take the composite of these two functions, when I graph it, I should get the y equals x line. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So first thing I'm going to enter is the original function. So that's x cubed minus 3. And that's a cubic function. And then I'm going to take the cube root of what I'm just going to take my inverse function. So this is 3. Inside is going to be x plus 3. X plus 3. Press enter. Now you can see that these look like reflections of each other, but to be absolutely sure, I'm just going to take tab, and then I'm going to do a composite. So I'm going to use a variable, and it doesn't matter which one goes first or which one is, since they're inverses, it doesn't matter which one is the first one and which one is inside. So I'm going to take F2 now, and then I'm just going to put an X here. Now, when I do this, when I press enter, it's going to create a straight line, but the straight line needs to go through the origin. It needs to be equal to the y equals x line. So if I go enter, you can see, let me move this out of the way. Actually, I just want to move this one out of the way. This one, this is the y equals x line. So the fact that these are going through the origin, and if you look at it, it's going through 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So that's the y equals x line. So we know that these two are in fact inverses, because when I do the composite, I get the y equals x line. That's an easy way to always tell if you're on the right track. Anytime you have to do inverse functions, when you get done with your inverse, if you graph them and take the composite, and if it doesn't give you the y equals x line, then you've made a mistake and you need to go back and figure it out. All right. I hope this has been helpful. I'm signing off.